Thank you, dear viewers, for joining us at this news on Equinoxe Television. You're welcome on board. My name is Bartlett Jonathan. In our top stories, the Member of Parliament for Falco East constituency in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon expresses concerns and worries over the sufferings of his people as a result of the close to 6-year-long armed conflict going on there, and he says it is time for change. It is time to turn the sad page and begin a new page for the people of his area, as well as the rest of the English-speaking regions of the Republic of Cameroon in war for close to 5 years now, or better still in a security crisis for close to 6 years now. And in this newscast, we shall also talk about health challenges in the far north region of the Republic of Cameroon. Several health amenities in different localities across the region are functioning at half-mast, so to speak, with lack of equipment, medical personnel, and other challenges coupled to the security problems going on there as a result of jihadists or attacks from militants of the Nigerian terrorist sect Boko Haram. Stay with us. We begin this newscast in Equinoxe in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, where the Member of Parliament in charge of that part of the southwest region, the Member of Parliament for the Falco East constituency, says his people are suffering. They are suffering because of the close to 6-year-long armed conflict going on across the two English-speaking regions of the Republic of Cameroon. Life is gradually returning to normalcy, but it is still very difficult because of the unstable socio-political climate reigning across the two regions of the Republic of Cameroon. And he says it is time for change. It is time to turn the sad page of that part of the southwest region of the Republic and the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon. The Richard report.
These are the present pictures of Equinoxe, a locality in Moyoka subdivision. And Honorable Findi Stanley Mokondo, Member of Parliament for Falco East constituency, visit his town that is today showing some signs of life. This town has nothing that resembles her past. Everything here has changed. The once vibrant town is today quiet.
My people are suffering. They have been unable to go to school. They have been unable to go to their farms freely. They have been unable to sell their products, agricultural products freely, so they are suffering.
The Member of Parliament is telling his people that the time has come for change.
Our town has suffered a lot. It's high time we regain our houses. It's high time we resume our activities. It's high time we give Equinoxe the image it has always had.
Before leaving Equinoxe, the CBDM MP left some messages of hope.
I told them, it's clear, I've always been with them. From birth, I've always been with the Equinoxe man. From birth, I've always interacted with the common man. Their problem has always been my problem. It is therefore imperative that I transmit their worries to the appropriate quarters. They are ready to collaborate. They are ready to cooperate.
It is the prayer of these remaining few that the much talk about change should start with them, which can now attract others to come back home.
And those equally suffering because of the socio-political tensions in the two English-speaking regions of the Republic of Cameroon are journalists who are finding it quite difficult to do the job of news gathering and reporting. News gathering, treatment, and reporting has become a very difficult task for journalists in the two English-speaking regions of the country, and press freedom is suffering because of the crisis. It is becoming much more dangerous for journalists in those two regions who are often caught up in the fire between the armed groups and the military or government authorities, both on two sides. And of course, press freedom is seriously threatening those two regions. Derek Jato reports in this brings to us some details about this in this reporting, which we have a journalism trainer, Professor Kingsley Leon Galangange, head of the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, University of Boya, talking about press freedom in this report.
To many, press freedom and access to information are still topics for debate, and it is against this backdrop that Africaphonie invited these pressmen and women drawn from all over the nation for a one-day seminar on press law and access to information in Boya.
Organized. Their credibility is at stake.
And one of the resource persons, Professor Kingsley Ngange, called for responsibility in the profession.
Let them know that they have an obligation. You know, Komepule, I always quote him, may so rest in peace, regretted since 1996 that journalists have sung so low that they have dashed to the ground the basic canons of the profession, which are objectivity, fairness, balance. It's time for the journalists to prove that they can be objective, they can be fair, they can be balanced in their reporting, and they can handle information responsibly.
The head of Department of Journalism and Mass Communication of the University of Boya, who doubles as the project consultant of the ongoing project meant to foster press freedom in Cameroon, and who today delivered on exploring the gaps in the 1990 media law and proposing reforms towards the greater press freedom, drew the attention of the authorities on the importance for press to have access to information.
Then what is the function of journalism if they cannot have access to information? To inform the public, which is counting on that for them to be able to carry out better information and so forth. Without that, there is confusion at the level of the media, which make journalists lose credibility in public eyes. So all of this is done for better journalism and for better society.
To these men and women in the media, access to information is the bedrock for any meaningful development.
The northwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, the people and their leaders are struggling to step up development in the midst of the unstable socio-political situation reigning over there in the rest of Anglophone Cameroon as a result of the armed conflict that's been going on for close to 6 years today, having a huge adverse impact on development and efforts often hindered by insecurity, and the people are now putting their heads together to see how to emerge, to see how to thrive in the midst of this difficult situation. One of the leaders in that part of the northwest region, one of the traditional leaders, spoke to us. Take a listen.
His Royal Highness von Bakwa Iti of Togi village. In the past years, we have been having some ups and downs, misunderstanding. The culture is not really flowing, and my expectation from the new president is that we want transparency, we want development. This gathering here today is to enable us to build and develop Meta at large. To talk about the displaced, what they have done so far is that they give you a helping hand by locating you where you can stay and having some peace of mind, and also looking for means that we can go ahead in order for us to return back home. 2 years back, the Mekuda has helped halls in the palaces, some of the palaces in the Meta land. So we expect them to do more, better things like they have been doing before.
Ruler from the Meta land in the northwest region of the country speaking there, and one of the elites from that part of the northwest region told our reporters that for development to be enhanced, for development activities to succeed, they must come together. They must unite. Without unity, it will be very much impossible to carry on with developmental activities, especially within the present context of socio-political tensions across Anglophone Cameroon. Take a listen to him.
Yeah, I'm Yaya Francis Lagbani from Bengwe, living here in Bonaberi. I really so much appreciate what is happening today. I'm a new elected president into the office of Mekuda Douala 2 in Bonaberi. I'm really proud because my people, the Meta people, are people that have dignity and they have happiness in them. So they are people of justice. So as standing as their flag bearer today, I carry before them because I see necessary that our development is supposed to be pushed forward and there must be a leader. So standing here today like the branch president in Douala, Bonaberi, I've been re-elected into the office for another 4 years. I do my best from 2018 to 2022 to realize some projects. Now I will launch another project. All the projects that I launched for 2018 to 2022, we succeed them. So I will so much appreciate if all the Meta people come together to fold our hands together so that we can, like a common man, carry up our development, carry up our culture. We look back at our home, so we really cry for our people because in Bengui and Meta as a whole, we need electricity, we need light, we need water project. And we are so on, we need so much to do for our village. So we that are outside here, we are really struggling to see if with 100 francs that we can contribute, we can realize some home projects back at the village. So my joy and what will give me strength to carry up my development projects will be the population I will have, will be the understanding and the cooperation of my people.
If we are not together, nothing can develop. We cannot leave only the government to develop our land. We have to do it ourselves and then even help people. When God bless you, you bless other people and you will be blessed the more again. So that's what I want my contributor to do. And you see, when they vote a president and he's working well with the people, he's transparent. That's how I join them to do. If I go somewhere and then I see they are doing even fundraising for development, I'll join my hand. Because you don't have any land. All land is no man's land. You can go anywhere, you can go anywhere. That's my secret. My secret is God, who gave me the wisdom and the knowledge, the love for the people.
Now to the far north region of the Republic of Cameroon, where several health amenities are functioning at half-mast, so to speak, as a result of challenges, several challenges ranging from personnel, inadequate or insufficient personnel, and inadequate medical equipment. And these problems have hindered healthcare delivery in those parts of the country. In the localities of Mozogo Aina in particular, the health amenities have not been functioning properly because of these challenges, and the Minister of Public Health, who was there, said that he was going to do everything possible to enhance healthcare delivery in those parts of the far north region of the Republic of Cameroon, as Glory Malak reports.
Tons of drugs, medical equipment, and important files are burned to ashes. This is following a fire incident that occurred in a pharmaceutical warehouse in Marwa, the far north region, leading to a huge loss worth 900 million francs CFA. This situation has further worsened the health service of some localities of this region, just like in Mozogo and Hina, in the Mayo-Tanaga, where there is insufficient of working materials and limited personnel. The Minister of Health, Manawuda Malashi, made a working visit to this area to examine the health system of the region. We are here to evaluate our health system, to know what is functioning or not, in order to act immediately. The head of the Mozogo Health District presented the main challenges of the center. Some workers also used the opportunity to present their poor working conditions.
For now, in the district, we have no physician, and we also lack state registered nurses in the district. And that's the one thing that we really need now, because we have two medical centers, and both of them lack physicians. In terms of equipment, we have a theater that is already built, but it's not yet equipped. Displaced persons, that's also another. So we have people who come here and it increases the charge of the health workers here.
Insecurity and electricity, the major difficulties of the Hina District Hospital. Health personnel are often attacked, while the situation scares others from going to work. Manauda Malashi promised to take appropriate measures.
Approbons pour que des solutions soient trouvées. D'ailleurs, en venant
officials at the Gendarmerie Brigade already made it clear to us that the security will be reinforced as far as this locality is concerned as part of the solution. And the second objective is for us to be sure that in the health domain equipment will be provided, logistics and many others. We also clarify the worries of some health workers and promise immediate solutions.
Qui sont facilement levables, donc je pense que ça sera fait d'ici la fin de.
The natives of these localities and the region as a whole look forward to see the government actions in order to save the lives of the people.
And medical authorities in Limbe, in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, have said there is a reduction in the number of persons rushed to hospitals as a result of the cholera outbreak in that part of the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. And our correspondent Davison Maimo will be giving us updates of the situation from Limbe in a short while. Time for us to talk about the Worldwide Fund for Nature, WWF, and the organization is warning that the world is dangerously heading towards a precipice with social threats on the ecosystem, or a serious threat on the ecosystem, and this, according to the experts, is as a result of increasing climate change despite efforts, and all of these are centered on human activities. Details in this report by Fomi Armstrong Sander.
Despite determined efforts to reduce and maintain global temperature at 1.5 degrees centigrade, experts in climate change fear that the world is heading dangerously towards a precipice.
Evidence shows that if we continue to do things the way we are doing, there is a likelihood that temperatures will go beyond 1.5, and that will have very catastrophic effect on human beings.
A high threat to human beings and by extension the global ecosystem, which has recorded a considerable loss since 1970.
We have lost biodiversity by 68% since 1970 to 2016. So it is a big problem, and we think that the efforts that are being put in place are not yet enough. We need to be more ambitious.
In the Cameroonian context, for example, experts say locals need a paradigm shift in order to positively impact the ecosystem in their daily activities.
Change the way, the paradigm that we're using now to be able to produce food, to be able to build our infrastructure and so on. All these factors contribute in no small way to biodiversity loss and to climate change. Yes, you have slash and burn agriculture. You have mining, which is really a big issue because the miners clear off forests to be able to dig deep into the soil to extract the minerals.
Advocating a more ambitious approach to stop the growing threat, the Worldwide Fund for Nature, the WWF, has intensified its campaign, codenamed FR. The campaign, launched in Australia in 2007, requires people to switch off their lights for 1 hour to show concern for nature.
And the Earth campaign has been going on in several parts of the world. In Cameroon, it is equally going on, and the purpose of that program is to be able to step up the fight against the threat on the ecosystem, on the global ecosystem. And we have greater details on this campaign in this extract of Fidelis Peggy of WWF. We'll be coming back to that in a short while. Time for us to go over to Limbe in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, where health officials have said that there is a reduction in the number of persons who are transmitted or who are rushed to different health amenities across the town in connection to the cholera outbreak in that part of the southwest region of the country. It should be noted that more than 2,000 cases were reported and tens of deaths, more than 40 recorded in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. But now the health officials are saying that the curve is going down and that the situation is gradually stabilizing. We have David Sunmaimo with updates on the cholera outbreak in the southwest region of the country. We will be coming back to David Sunmaimo in our subsequent news edition. It's time for us to go over to the news out of the Republic of Cameroon. Human rights crackdowns in Libya having a serious chilling effect, and a deepening crackdown on civil society in Libya has prompted the concern of the United Nations Human Rights Office, which noted that arbitrary arrest and a campaign of social media vilification are having a seriously chilling effect on human rights defenders, humanitarian workers, and other civil society actors in the country. Members of the Internal Security Agency (ISA) of the internationally recognized government in Tripoli and state-affiliated armed groups have in recent months arbitrarily detained some human rights defenders and civil society activists. And this information is from the spokesperson of the UN High Commission for Human Rights in that part of the country, and she gave this, and Liz Trozel gave this report during a briefing in Geneva, and under the pretense of protecting Libyan and Islamic values, she said they have subjected them to torture, verbal harassment, and intimidation. And that's it for the first part of this newscast. Coming up next is Talking Point. Professor Mark Akumbom Anthony is a civil society leader. He's a university don. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Babila, for the opportunity.
All right, we're going to be analyzing.
To actually be present on a platform today.
All right, we're going to be analyzing the devolution of power as a proposed solution to the close to 6-year armed conflict in the northwest and southwest regions of the Republic of Cameroon. And a U.S.-based Cameroonian lawyer in the name of Barrister Charles Mambo proposes the devolution of power as solution to the armed conflict, solution not only to the Anglophone crisis, but to the Anglophone problem. What do you think about this?
I think that's a good opinion by Barrister Charles Mambo. And in relation to my perspective, the dissolution of power is not something that is bad, considering the fact that at present there is so much concentration of power in the central government in Cameroon. And they came up with an idea, or whatsoever they call decentralization, which was featured in the constitution and has been dormant for the past 24 years. But it's unfortunate that even though they later on came up and talked about accelerated decentralization, we have still seen the same concentration of power. And the idea of Barrister Charles is something that could be accepted, but at home it will not be accepted, because the idea of the Anglophone problem has nothing to do with there's so much concentration of power. It might be just, let me use the word, it might be a position taken by some, but that is not the problem of the Anglophone, which is just a matter of delegation of power. To delegate power is what makes every good leadership to be effective in executing its policies. But it is unfortunate that we have a leadership in Cameroon that concentrates a lot of power on itself and find it difficult to share this power in order to affect change in the nation. Where individuals sit and hold power, in fact, it's when I talk, I'm trying to hold my words, but I think I should be straight. When you look at the Constitution of Cameroon, it's a presidentialist system where everything comes from the president. And you look at it, the president has power over the legislative arm of the government. The president has power over the judiciary arm of the government. And that is a mess in itself, because I'll be sincere. That the constitution that we have, the 1996 Constitution of Cameroon, is a copy of I think the Third Republic of France, and that Third Republic had a concentration of power towards the president. But we are talking of a progressive change. Today, France no more use that constitution. But Cameroon holds onto that system because in one way or the other, it benefits some individuals. The president is the Almighty.
That's
me why today you hear.
Let me get something clear. You're saying that officially we are in a presidential system of government, but in practice we're in a presidentialist system. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. We are actually having a presidentialist system.
So, you equally indicated that the devolution of powers may not be accepted, but what impact? Because you indicate that it's a good thing. So, but what impact can it have, even though it may not be accepted? What impact can it have on the situation on the ground?
I think that if power is delegated where crisis in the north and the southwest region, where the various leaders whom had been elected, I want to talk about the city mayor, I want to talk of the regional president, such individuals, if actual power was delegated to them, it will create a situation where it will look like a federation, and it will relax the thoughts of individuals, because there will not be this idea of everything must come from Yaoundé, from the center, for execution to be done in the regions. But as the case is, we cannot even think of a situation like that, because though we have been given a so-called decentralized constitution, it is not decentralized. It remains concentrated and it remains centralized. And if you remember, on this same platform once I said, the whole idea of decentralization of power in Cameroon is not true, because it is a kind of deconcentration of power, not decentralization. It's a deconcentration of power where, okay, the minister had this power, though he still has it, so we should deconcentrate it so that we can have a facade called decentralization. And that is the situation where nothing can move ahead, where even if the regional leadership tries to say or do something, there will be others that will be coming from the central government to stop them from actually executing any plans or successfully realizing any projects that they might come up with. And look at it. Looking at the way Barrister Charles presents his position, I don't know, I have not read the entire article, but I think that he, in his perspective, thinks that the problem of Cameroon actually, the problem of the northwest and southwest region is focused on who has the power. I think that's not where the issue is. The issue has to do with who is eating what, because I will say this, we do not have a problem of power, we have a problem of how to manage the resources on the ground. Who is benefiting from the resources that are coming from those two regions? How are the people of those two regions treated when it comes to the Republic of Cameroon? And so that is what is causing most of them to react the way they react. And that is why you had a lot of persons agitating and asking for secession.
But politicians, some politicians like Njang Dennis, Tabe, national president of the PAP, think that if there were to be an Anglophone president today, it will be some sort of a game changer.
That is just a belief, and that's an opinion as well. There are a lot of individuals who believe that the system is so corrupt to an extent where whether you put an Anglophone or a Francophone, they will produce the same results based on the system that is in place. It is not who sits, it is what actually coordinates their operation. I think that the problem of Cameroon is systemic, not just an idea of a person. And so it is not the person per se, it is the system in place. So I think that if we have to make progress, then there is need for the system to change. There is need for it to be upgraded. And I mentioned France, and I mentioned that what we copied in Cameroon is coming from the Third Republic of France. Today, France has evolved. France is actually having a, should I say, a constitution that permits equal balance of power. In Cameroon, that is lacking. And when that is lacking, it means that the people of Cameroon are deprived of their rights. And as a result of that, it gets to a place where people start grumbling and agitating and reacting. So it is not only an issue now of power, like I'll remind you, it's not just an issue of power. It's an issue of system. The system is the problem. And that is what we should focus our attention on. How do we change the system? How do we upgrade it and give what we need? And permit Cameroonians to enjoy the land which they were born in. The people of the Northwest and Southwest, the people of the Southern Cameroon, former Southern Cameroons, will always decry the idea of, they will tell you that they are being marginalized. And marginalization is something that had been in the bloodstream of Cameroon since 1960s, after the unification.
All right. What do you think? What do you think about all the efforts that have been made by the government and other stakeholders for the regional institutions to be fully operational and deliver the goods?
We thank God for the efforts of the government, but I will be sincere in saying that the efforts of the government are not enough. The efforts they have put, in fact, they are not enough. It's not enough at all to reach the desired goal. So I just also want to make this clear. We can't refuse the fact that the government has taken some, but what is the importance of painting an old wall to make it look like new without actually breaking it to transform it? So I can't in any way say that those efforts will bring change in Cameroon. So telling the government that whatsoever they have been doing is not meeting the cry of the people. Just imagine the state of Cameroon right now. We are talking about a situation where if care is not taken, there will be famine within a short time. If care is not taken, Cameroonians will actually live a life of stress in their own land. It seems as if Cameroonians have been enslaved. So we need to get to look at this thing and tell the government your efforts are not enough. Do what is needed and necessary in order to change the tide.
Professor Mark Akumbom Anthony, thank you so much for your time today. Thanks.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for this edition of the news on Equinoxe Television. Goodbye.